Hey everybody, and welcome back to VGBoombox. I'm Bobby, and in today's tutorial we're going to be looking at the guitar portion of the Wild Arms song Milama Village. If you have not seen my video of that song, link in the description below. Check it out so you know exactly how the song sounds if you have not heard it before. Today we're going to be looking at the guitar portion. So today we're going to be playing on my old eBay $45 guitar. Bought this guitar probably 10 or 12 years ago. No, I have not played it for 10 or 12 years consistently. I wish I had. Just kind of getting back into music here recently. You know, it's very cheap, no name, no brand, most likely made in China, dare I say. But hey, we make it do what it do. It still plays, it works, it sounds decent, decent enough to, you know, learn on, to make some videos with. So this is the one we'll be playing on today. This is a nylon string guitar, so it sounds more like the original track than my steel string guitar. So we're going to be going with the nylon string. We're going to be looking at a song. Technically, I probably shouldn't say it's comprised of arpeggios. These are not what I would call traditional chords, but we're going to be playing individual notes. So we're not going to be strumming. We're going to be picking notes. Okay. For this particular song, we're going to be playing just on the bottom four notes. And let me back up. So we're going to be playing this song in what's called a classical style or a finger picking style. All right, in classical or finger picking style, you play the top three strings with your thumb. That's 6, 5, and 4. And then the bottom three strings, you're going to play the third string with your first finger. You're going to pluck it up. The second string, you're going to play with your middle finger, plucking it up. And then the first string, the smallest string, the thinnest string, the string that's closest to the floor, you're going to pick up with your ring finger. So again, it's thumb, 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 first, middle, ring. Okay. All right. So one of the things that I like about this song is it has what I consider an anchor. And when I say anchor, I don't know if that's a technical term or not, but that's the term that I like to use. And basically what I mean is there is a note or a fretted note on a string of this song where your finger doesn't ever move. Okay, so for this song, the second string, which is the second from the floor, I'm going to put my middle finger on the third fret, and it's going to stay there the entire song. This note right here. So second string, third fret, playing with my middle finger. And my finger's going to stay there the whole song. So it gives me a point of reference. It gives me a point of reference as far as how far I am from the other frets. It also gives me a point of reference where the other strings are. So it just gives me a good central location to play from. The first part of the song, which we're going to get into detail in a minute, I'm going to try to put the tablature on the screen. But the first part of the song is the third string open, second string on this third fret, and then the first string open. So I have that anchor of my middle finger on that fret of that string. So it goes, and that finger doesn't move. Then when I get to the next portion, I add my first finger on the second fret of the third string, and that finger in the middle still stays in place. So that's why I call it an anchor, because it doesn't move. It stays there the entirety of the song. All right, so let's get to the song. And again, I'm going to try to put the tablature on the screen. And I'll try to zoom in so you can see my left hand and my right hand at the same time. But for the most part, in my notes, I have this song listed as 6 lines of music. That is not technical in any way, shape, or form. But let's just get through this. Okay, so 6 lines of music. So the first phrase or part is third string open, second string on the third fret, first string open. Then that repeats. And then the last part of this phrase, it skips the anchor note, that third fret of the second string, and it's just the open third and the open first. Again, I'm going to put that on the screen. It's going to make a lot more sense when you can actually see it and read it. But that part and play is going to sound like this. All right, so that has a total of 8 notes, okay? Then when we get to the second line, we're going to add our first finger onto the second fret of the third string. Now this is where it gets a little more involved, because the first line of the first phrase, all I had to do was put my finger down on the third fret and just pick the notes and the strings in the right order. So it was 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, 3, 1. But now I actually have to do a little more work, because I'm going to put my first finger down on the second fret of the third string for the first 3 notes of the second part. But then I have to lift my first finger before I get to note 4. Okay, so this is where it gets a little more involved, a little more complicated. This is one of those things you're going to have to practice to kind of get it down. So it's 2, 3, 0, 0, 3, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so I'm going to play that again. Okay, then after that it goes back to the original phrase, which is the middle finger on the third fret of the second string. The other strings are going to be played open. Okay, so then we're going to go back on the fourth line. We're going to go back to the first finger on the second fret, middle finger on the third fret. First string is going to be open. Again, after I play the first 3 notes, I'm going to have to lift my first finger off the string again. Okay, now for the last 3 notes of this part, it's going to be 3, the third fret on the first string, third fret on the second string, and then the third string is going to be open. Now generally when I play this part, I actually bar these 2 notes or 2 frets with my middle finger. Now if you want, you can bring your ring finger in underneath and fret this third fret of this first string, kind of like Spider-Man, if you see that. Or you can do what I do, which is I just bar it. I put this finger across both strings. So essentially I just take this anchor finger and I just lay it down across both strings. Do whichever works best for you. Both options are technically correct. There's not a right or wrong way. If you want to use your pinky, you could. That would be weird and uncomfortable. If you actually want to switch your fingers around and switch and put your first finger on the third fret and then put your middle finger on this third fret, you could. If you want to bar them with your first finger, you know, there's really not a hard, fast rule to this. It's whatever works best for you. This is what works best for me. It works best for me just to lay my finger across both strings and then play both notes at the third fret. All right, so again, this fourth line, 2, 3, 0, 0, 3, 3, 0, okay? All right, so then on to the fifth line. It's going to start just like the first line and the third line, which is open, 3, open. Okay, so now we're going to add in a new note. Okay, we're going to add in the 4th fret of the 4th string. Okay, so this is where, again, it's going to get a little more involved, because now we're going to add in our pinky. At least I'm using my pinky. If you want to use your ring finger, you could. I'm going to use my pinky on this 4th fret of the 4th string. And because it's the 4th string, I'm going to use my thumb. Okay, so I'm going to use my thumb to pluck this 4th note or 4th fret of this 4th string. Anchor finger still stays in the same place. And I'm going to add my first finger again on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. All right, so that part is also a little more complicated because we have a space or a skipping of a string between the first and the second pick note, if that makes sense. Up until now, it's been straight 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, or 3, 2, 1, or 3, 2, 1, or 3, 1. But this time it's going to be 4, 2, 1, 4-2-1, talking about the number of the string. So it's fourth string, second string, first string, fourth string, second string, first string, then third string, first string. All right, so that part is gonna kind of, if you're new, it's gonna challenge you. If you've been playing for 10 years, then this is probably like a cakewalk. But if you're fairly new to the guitar, if you're new to playing fingerstyle, then this may be a bit of a challenge for you. Skipping that string, using your pinky, adding in that fourth string versus just doing strings 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so we've got 4-3-0, 4-3-0, 2-0. Okay, then we're going to go back to, for the sixth line of the music, we're going to go back to the original progression again, which is the 0-3-0. Okay, and then this time to finish up the song, this is similar to the fourth line of the music, which was the 2-3-0-0, but instead of 2-3-0-0, we're going to play 2-3-0-2. I'm talking about the frets, not the strings. Again, it'll be on the screen, so it won't be so confusing. But before we played 2-3-0 and then open, we lifted our finger. This time we're going to keep that second fret pressed down. We're going to play that 2 again. But then again, just like the previous time, we're going to bar the 2 third frets on the first and second string. And that's it. So that's the whole song. We're going to play through it again from start to finish just to make sure everything makes sense. Again, I'm going to try to put the tablature up so that we can see it as we're playing it. All right, so start to finish. Add the 2. Back to the beginning. Add the 2. Bar. Add the 4. Back to the beginning. Add the 2. Keep the 2. All right, and that's the whole song. Generally, most of these video game tracks it repeats twice. As the case in the video recording that I did, that whole thing plays through twice. I always try to leave you with a few fine points. Always try to leave you with a few fine points. If you're new to the acoustic guitar, one of the most challenging things, number one, is playing these strings in the beginning. It's going to hurt. Okay, it's going to take a while to toughen up your fingertips. It's going to take a while to, as they say, grow calluses so that it won't hurt as much to press the strings down. When you're pressing the strings down, try to use only as much force as is necessary. It's really easy playing the guitar to get caught up in, just cranking down on these frets, on these strings, and it's just going to wear your fingers out super fast. So try to use just the least amount of pressure to get a clear note. And not much more than that. You don't want to wear your fingers out unnecessarily. The other thing, if you notice a lot of buzzing as you're switching your strings, like if you get that, that's actually like I'm inadvertently muting the string. Okay, so my middle finger is up too high, so it's touching this open string as I pluck it. So you want to try to just make sure that when you're fretting your strings, that you try not to touch the other strings. And that's to me at least, one of the hardest things about playing the guitar, because there's not a lot of room between these strings. So it's really easy to accidentally mute strings as you're playing, especially for, faster pieces where you're really moving your hands around. So just kind of work on that, look out for that. Ideally, you just want to get nice, clean sound, clean tone. As far as plucking with your right hand, a part of your tone is going to come from your fingers getting tougher. If your fingertips are very soft, then you're going to naturally get kind of a dull tone. As you play for a longer period of time and your calluses develop or your fingertips get tougher, then you're going to get a cleaner tone. Some people, what they'll do is when they're playing fingerstyle guitar, they'll actually grow their fingernails out and they'll use their fingernails to pick the strings. It's not something I've ever really practiced, but do what works for you. But the biggest thing is, as with all things, practice makes perfect. Practice along with this song, practice along with the music video and this tutorial, and by all means, find some video lessons on YouTube. There are lots of great guitar teachers out there that will teach you start to finish. They'll take you through all the different scales and chords and all that good stuff. Or just hang out here and we'll just kind of do some basic stuff, just some stuff to have some fun with. So that's pretty much it for this one. Got another one in the works, should be uploaded probably next Friday. So stay tuned for that one. As usual, like and subscribe, turn on notifications. If you want to contribute to the channel, there's a link down below for the Patreon page, www.patreon.com/VGBoombox. We have 3 patron levels, 3 tiers, 8-bit, 16-bit, and the 64-bit Elite Grandmaster. All of the specifications for those tiers are on the Patreon page. I'm going to go over all those here. But get plugged in today. Check it out. Contribute. Bottom line is the more patrons I have, the more content I can create, the more sweepstakes I can offer, and we can just have fun with this. So thanks for tuning in. See you in the next one, and be blessed.